Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. Today we're making a card holder keychain wallet. I think that's what it's called. We've got a key holder and we've got a card holder, and you can put some money and you can put some notes in there as well. So whether you want to use your business cards, credit cards or some cash, you'll be able to fit those in there and carry your keys, and you'll even be able to hide your keys away inside to some extent. It has a little snap closure on there as well, and nice and easy just to carry about with you. Come along and I'll show you how to make these. To make this card slot keychain wallet, these are the pieces that we're going to need. I'm going to use this one for our outer fabric. This one will be the lining on the inside. We need one each that are 23 by 9 centimetres or 9 by 3.5 inches. We need some interfacing for these too. Our seam allowance is going to be 1 centimetre or 3/8 of an inch. You want your interfacing to be that much smaller all the way around. The interfacing here is 21 by 7 centimetres or 8 1/4 by 2 3/4 inches, and you'll fuse that to the wrong side of your fabric. Today I'm using probably a light to medium weight cotton interfacing, but you can just as easily use a lightweight dressmaker's interfacing. I'm just using scraps of what I've got in my stash. Then we need 2 pieces for our card slots. They are 19 by 9 centimetres or 7.5 by 3.5 inches. We need interfacing for those as well, and we only need half the length. We need 2 pieces of interfacing that are 8.5 by 7 centimetres or 3 1/4 by 2 3/4 inches. Then we have a piece of fabric that snaps our little wallet closed. That's 16 by 5 centimetres or 6 by 2 inches. For that you need another piece of interfacing, and that will also be for half of the fabric. We will shape this as well. 5.5 by 3 centimetres or 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 inches. Then I have another small piece of fabric for the tab for the D-ring or the swivel clip. That's 6 by 4 centimetres or 2.5 by 1.5 inches. Then you'll also need either a D-ring or a swivel clip. I'm only using a 1/2 inch or 12mm D-ring there, and I think that's even narrower, but that'll be fine as well. And then you just need some plastic snaps. So I'll set all my hardware aside. With the small tab piece, we're going to fold that in half lengthwise, and then bring the raw edges in and fold it in half again, and that should be big enough for our little D-ring to pop over like that. And as I said, you don't have to use a D-ring. If you want to, you can use a swivel clip. This will probably be a little bit large, but it'll be fine as well. If you don't want it as tight as that, you can actually make this a little bit smaller. So we'll fold that in half twice, and then we'll sew down both long edges. We'll fuse our iron-on interfacing to the lining and the exterior fabric. Take your card slot fabric, fold that in half, grab your interfacing and place that on one half and fold that over. Fuse that one, and you'll do the same for this one. And for this one here, let's set that aside for the moment. Find something small and curved, place that over the edge of your interfacing strip and just mark a curve there. And we can cut that out. So for that one, we need to fold this strip of fabric in half and fuse that piece of interfacing onto the fabric. Let's go and iron all the interfacing onto these pieces of fabric. I'll be making a couple of these today so that I can show you the difference between the D-ring and the swivel clip. And I've got everything fused to all the pieces that I need to. What I'll do now, I'll take this flap piece, my tab, and the 2 folded pieces of fabric with the interfacing on the inside. Take these all to the machine. I'll do a top stitch along the folded edge of these 2 pieces, stitch down both long edges of that, and then I will sew around the side, the curved top, and this side here down to the end, and we'll leave this bottom end unstitched for turning through. We'll take those pieces to the machine now. With this little tab, I've just got the fabric folded in half, and I'm going to sew right beside that interfacing. And these are the folded pieces that all I need to do is top stitch. Okay, we have all our bits sewn together that we need to. I've got the card pockets top stitched for both of them, and our tabs are ready as well. One of them, as I said, is going to have one of these little lobster clasps or swivel clips, and the other one will have a D-ring, just to show you that you can do this either way. And if you don't have D-rings at all, you really don't need to have them, because your split ring that you have on your keychain will easily go over that. So you can leave the hardware out completely. With our end tabs, we're going to trim that one close to the curves. If you have pinking shears, you can easily go and pink that as well. And we can turn this the right way around now. Now that I've turned these two the right way around, I'm going to go and top stitch right around the outside edges. If you feel you need to, you can go and stitch this closed just on the very end. I'm going to sew these straight onto the fabric whilst I'm at the machine doing these tabs. With this piece here, we're going to find the centre and grab one of these pocket pieces, place that over the top. Right here is the centre of my fabric, and I'm going to sew my little tab on in between the position of the pocket and the centre. If you need a measurement for that, it's 10 centimetres or 3 3/4 inches from the end. Top stitch these, and I'll stitch this tab onto the side, and I'll repeat that for the other one as well. Next, you're going to take your little end tabs, centre that over the edge of your fabric right at the very end, and we'll stitch those in place. I'll quickly go and do that now. Now that that's done, the next thing we need to do is put a couple of snaps onto our little tabs. You can use those sew-on fasteners. I've got some little plastic, I think they're cam snaps here, and I have some little metal ones as well. So whichever one you choose to use is completely up to you. If you don't have snaps, you can use Velcro. On our tabs, let's make a mark 1.5 centimetres, which is about 5/8 of an inch. Pop a hole in there using an awl, and on the other end of the fabric we're going to fold that in half, find the centre, and we'll measure 2 inches or 5 centimetres from the outside edge, and we'll make a little hole there as well. Of course, as usual, I can't find matching snaps, so I'm going to use these black ones instead. Take your little flap here, the side that is closest to your outer fabric, grab your cap, pop that into the hole, and then grab one of your other bits and just squeeze those together. So we've got the flat side facing the outer fabric, and then at the other end where we've made the hole, you want the flat side on the inside, and then you can grab the opposite round thing that we need and press those together, and then use your tool to secure it. Okay, now that all the fiddly bits are done, we can put this together and finish it. So these are our outer fabric pieces. We now need to build up our layers, and I'll take the card pockets, and we've got the raw edge at the bottom here. We're going to line that up with the raw edge at the end. Top stitching is up here. Before I secure the lining pieces on top, I'm going to go back to the machine and just sew the side edges down. The reason we're doing that is that we need to leave an opening when we place our lining down. And if you leave an opening along here without stitching this, it'll make it a little bit difficult to turn everything the right way around and have it sit nicely. So if we sew that first, at least on those edges, then that'll be easier to leave our opening. So I will quickly go and do that right now. So here's what I've done. I've just sewn that side flap down here and along here, and I've sewn the side that doesn't have the little tabs on it. I've done that on this one as well. Now you certainly don't need to go and do this, and if you're only going to be making a couple and you lack a little bit of confidence with folding your fabric, then go and do this. If you're sewing to sell and you want to save on your labour costs, then you probably won't want to do that. So with our layers placed together now, we can now go and put the lining straight over the top, and we want to leave an opening on this side for turning everything the right way around. So now we'll start here, go all the way around, finish here, backstitch both ends, then we'll clip our corners and turn everything the right way. Okay, all I'm doing now is sewing right on the very edge of that interfacing. When I get to the corner, I'll go forward, back, one stitch, forward one stitch, turn, and then do the same, back one, forward one. Make sure when you get to the section where your tabs are that you don't have the metal hooks or rings in your way. You want to make sure they're in the centre of your work. And backstitch, and I've left a little opening just along here, and I'll repeat for the other one. Okay, we've stitched this up, got an opening on the side here. Before we can turn this the right way around, we want to clip our corners. Now you can do that easily just by snipping it across the diagonals there. Now a lot of people like to use pinking shears to trim close to the edges, and I should have shown you this on the curve earlier, but you can also get pinking blades for your rotary cutter. So this is like a wavy blade, and it's actually called a pinking blade. So if you don't have pinking shears, I've got lots of pairs, but they're all blunt. You can run your blade along the edge of your fabric there, and you can pink the edges. Now you certainly don't need to do that with these straight-edged fabrics. It's more often required when you're working on curves. For these, all I really need to do is clip the corners. So whichever way you prefer to do it, you can, and we can now turn this the right way around. And when you've turned this the right way, you just want to fold the other pocket over to the same side. And that's how our little card holder and wallet are going to look. So we still need to top stitch this, and we can turn the other one around as well. Make sure you've got your card pockets on the same side. This is the outside of your little wallet where we can see the snaps, and we want those little pockets on the inside. I've got my opening along the side here that needs to be closed up. What we can do now is top stitch all the way around those edges, and then you're completely finished. So we'll do that on both of those. Where the opening of the pockets are, I like to reinforce the stitching over those areas because they are stress points. So when your card or your money is going in and out, that'll cause that to pull against the seam. So there we go. Whether you have your keys attached to a little clip on the side or threaded through a D-ring, or even if you don't use anything at all, the keys are going to sit on your little key wallet really easily. Snap it open. You can pop your business cards in here, fold up your cash, pop that in there and close it up. And with the opening of the card holders being to the centre, nothing's going to fall out there when you've got it closed. Use that as a little card holder for all of your business cards or to keep your cash or even your credit cards. So I think this project turned out pretty good. If you want to sew to sell, this is a really nice quick project to do. You can use up lots of scrap fabric. You can see I haven't even bothered really coordinating my fabrics very well. I think that these might actually be a fairly decent seller. I've only made a couple of them so far. I'm going to go through my scrap and hopefully find some time to make up more of these. I want to give them a go. They're really simple, quick to make. They probably take maybe about just under 15 minutes each from start to finish by the time you've cut everything out, done your interfacing. If you can have a production line going, that'll work really well for you. I'm probably going to sell these between $10 and $15. I haven't quite decided yet. They're a pretty quick project to do. There's not much hardware in there. I'm thinking possibly $10. If I only do them at $10, then I have to stick with that price. If I try them at $15, then I can always go down if it doesn't work. I'm going to have a think about that. I'm not sure yet. I'll keep you posted on these in one of my upcoming sales figures. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.